but you're also sort of, for lack of a better word, cleaning up a little bit of mess from before. And one of those, respectfully, was the on again, off again tumultuous relationship that happened with prior ownership and the Hardy brothers. And there were some really successful characters and viral skits and I mean the whole broken Matt Hardy character really took the internet by storm and was a standout for Impact at a time when they really needed something, and the industry was at least talking about that. But now it looks like, well, they're not going to be a part moving forward, and you're sort of put in the middle of that even though you didn't create it. That's a kind of a tough spot for you to be in. No,
what a nightmare. And look, me and Matt have talked about this, and Jeff, the level of, I'll just say it, the honesty. I was not given full clarity, although that time of my life, I assumed I had full clarity on who paid for what and what contract said and what I'll just call it the Hardys' understanding was, and what Impact's understanding, I don't want to say Anthem Wrestling, Impact's understanding was. I think they had an understanding that I obviously wasn't there, not privy to, and didn't understand it. And then Ed and company enter and say, no, this is what our deal says from a legal perspective, because that's all I cared about. I'm like, what do we really have the rights for? And then I thought I could help things, and I definitely didn't help things, probably made things worse for me personally. But man, it was a mess because it was all in the ownership of the IP that was created, as well as the expenses that Matt and Jeff went through that either were never reimbursed or never agreed upon it being reimbursed. And that's where it got totally muddy, and it was a mess. I mean, it was a complete mess. I'm glad those days are behind me. But to defend Ed, I don't really think, and maybe it wasn't his job, but I think on the other hand, it was to do the due diligence on who really owes what. But Ed was so new to the business at the time, I don't even think he knew the questions to ask, but he inherited the situation just like I did. And we knew we had to figure some kind of exit and then throw in not even the wild card, throw in the strategic play that the Hardys were going back to the WWE. They had no incentive, I don't say play ball, to move the ball down the court in the Impact Anthem Wrestling Exhibitions Avenue anyway. So that, in a lot of ways, further, I don't say complicated things, but that was further to the reality. In hindsight, could we have all sat down and said, all right, Matt and Jeff aren't coming back regardless. Let's just kind of move on. That might have helped. I don't think solve things. But Conrad, I'm trying to paint as good a picture as possible that Matt and Jeff, Anthem Wrestling Exhibitions, and myself, back to our goal alignment, we really, really, really were never aligned and never were going to be aligned when they made the decision to go back. And rightly so.